Hello and welcome to the Touchline, the show that has to do with your English Premier League news as well as any other international news. Today we're covering this past weekend's reviews of games, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are just as upset or as excited as I am. This past weekend had VAR controversy as usual, another red card, and maybe your team won and maybe your team drew. With me on the couch today, I do have my man, Drew.
What up, girl?
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
One question. Why are you wearing that shirt?
You see, camaraderie of sports. You know, we are all of us together. You know, when COVID hit, we all couldn't watch sports. So I'm supporting every team, man.
Because your team did not.
You see, my team.
The blue one, not this one.
My team.
Both of them.
Hey, you know what? I will not get into this chat with Drew. Let us start off with the one game where Drew was bashing poor Patrick Bamford. Aston Villa versus Leeds. How did you find that game?
I was shocked. But I told you never to worry about Leeds. Never to worry about Leeds. And I did say that Leeds was going to win.
In the first half, we were worried, though. I mean, there were not...
I was no worried. I told you Leeds was going to win.
Fair.
That was my prediction.
But now let's get into Patrick Bamford, because last week when we were talking about him, we did say that it was about time that he got into the Premier League groove. What did he do? He went and got a hat-trick. A beautiful hat-trick, by the way. First one, poacher's finish. He's a striker. He's going to get in there. But the second one and the third one, I'm more upset about the third one than I am any other one. The one where he was surrounded by 4 players. He had time to turn and pick his spot and found the back of the net.
Yeah, striker coming into his own. Maybe he's peaking late.
Yeah.
Your Didier Drogba's, those guys peak late. You know, you get your strikers that peak late, and they do say that your 27, 28 is when the striker peaks.
Yeah.
We wrote him off. I wrote him off personally.
You did.
Chelsea wrote him off. I didn't think he was Premier League quality, but maybe he is, and I'm just hoping Woodward doesn't go and spend 90 million on him. But he's looking nice. He's looking nice, and him and Rodrigo, maybe a 4-4-2 up front, you know.
It works. It works with them together. But I don't think it was more of a 4-4-2 the way we expected it to be, because one thing I love about the Leeds team is that it doesn't matter which personnel is there. The system doesn't change. Because he made a substitution early in the first half. And he was just like, this is not working for me. And he pulled them out.
You're not doing it. You're not playing to the system. You come off, you know. And that's what a coach should do. This thing of saying, I'm trying to fit these guys and play them to their man, you play to my system or you go.
Yeah.
That's what the top coaches do. There's a system, and if you can't play to this system, you gotta go.
Yeah, and then now looking at Aston Villa, this was their first loss of the season. What was it about them on that day that they just couldn't get going? I don't know whether it was the pace of Leeds. I don't know whether they didn't anticipate them to be within their faces that way, but Aston Villa was sloppy in everything that they did.
Sometimes you're just not up to mentality or maybe complacency, but I don't think they expected Leeds to come at them.
They came at them, hey?
But you should, because that's how
Leeds play. I mean, we've said this. They want to outscore their opponents.
And they're aggressive, the press. So I think maybe it's complacency. They thought, we are unbeaten. We're going to take this. But it's been coming. It's going to come. It's Aston Villa, for Pete's sake. They're not going to go invincible and not go unbeaten. They're going to lose.
It was bound to happen. And why not to a Leeds side that is just as exciting?
I don't think people expected them to lose to Leeds. Maybe a draw or something.
Probably.
Then maybe lose to a bigger team. But Leeds came through and ripped them apart. Hopefully that they don't lose confidence. Hopefully they can bounce back. That's what the big teams do. The big teams bounce back. The smaller teams, the form deteriorate, and all of a sudden...
Which teams are the small teams? I've always wanted to know this in the Premier League. Like, how do we look at a team and say, you're a small one, actually?
Arsenal's a small team.
Whoa, massive! You are very, very brave. On that note, we move on to the next game that happened the very next day. We're looking at now the game between West Ham United and Manchester City. Before we get into it, what was your prediction?
I said City was going to win.
Okay, and now that it was
Unexpected. Antonio, oh my goodness.
Mikel Antonio has been the most informed striker since lockdown.
And he's nice.
And he is now. He has 10 goals in about 11 appearances. So we should have known he was going to be a threat. But also, West Ham are coming into their own now. Even the centre backs are coming in. Valbuena's involved. A little bit of Yamalenko's now playing. You know, injuries used to kill him before. So West Ham now are a bit compact.
Yeah, I think David Moyes has got them on the Everton package. He's building another Everton with West Ham.
Yeah.
And I think last season, Moyes was in charge last season. Was
Yeah.
it halfway?
He took on halfway. So
halfway,
this is now his team.
So Moyes took over, and then they sacked him to bring in a more expensive coach.
Yeah.
That guy played rubbish, and then they brought Moyes back. So this season, the players were like, okay, this guy's going nowhere. We have to
play for ourselves now.
He's the manager, and if I don't play, I'm out. And they're
doing well.
They're doing pretty well.
And then now looking at Manchester City, because I mean, they seem to be struggling a little bit. They are still trying to gel. Also, injuries are not a thing. Aguero came back into the starting lineup. Halftime, he got taken off because of a hamstring injury.
He's not fit. He's not fit.
I thought they played him a bit too soon, but this has always been Aguero. Remember last season when he had the car accident and with the broken ribs? 3 weeks, he was back on the field.
Back.
Yeah.
They rely on him a bit too much, and also I think it's because Jesus is
also
also
out,
injured.
yes.
But yeah, he wasn't fit. That's why he had to come off. I really can't put my finger on what's happening
at City right now.
I can't. Maybe it's because Pep's contract is up at the end of the
That's
season.
what I was thinking, that he's looking at that now.
So the players are also unsure as to what's going to happen next season. Why must I play when this guy is not, not going to be control of my future next season? But
something is not right
there.
They're
a top team. They're a champion team. You should be running over West Ham. I don't understand this.
Just to close out the conversation about Manchester City, I'm just going to say a name and I just want your reaction. Raheem Sterling.
My brother. My brother.
That's not what I expected. Goodness. Raheem Sterling had too many opportunities to kill off that game.
Yeah, that's been Sterling though. Last season, I think it was a bit of an anomaly, him finishing like that. But Sterling's always been a Chicharito of sorts. 4 shots, 1 goes in type of thing. He's never been that clinical.
Yeah.
But Sterling is top class, man. Sterling is top class.
He needs to step up, and now it's worse. He's wearing the captain. That's what I'm thinking.
It's the pressure. I think it's the pressure of being captain. Also, I don't know why they give it to Sterling. Fernandinho is injured. Okay.
Kevin De Bruyne hadn't gotten in. Walker should have gotten
Walker's
it.
Not captain material. I don't think Walker's captain material.
I don't think Sterling is either, and he got it. So
I think he's the most senior player. I think so.
At this stage, So.
And Sterling has that off the field influence in terms of fighting the racism and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think Pep sees him more of a leader than your Kyle Walkers, and Kyle Walker sometimes can be an idiot on the field.
He turns to switch off. Comes with age though. Sometimes the older you get, the brain also turns.
Nah, you should be more focused the older you get, because you lose your pace, so you need your concentration.
Yeah, a little bit more. Another team that is worrisome for me, and looking at how they were also playing now, moving into the Fulham and Crystal Palace game. Fulham, I feel so bad for Scott Parker, because I don't know what is happening at Fulham. Not that I gave them too much confidence anyway, because I really do rate them in the bottom 3 at the end of the season.
No, they're going down for sure.
So yeah, how did you see that game with Crystal Palace? Because there was also a little bit of controversy with VAR there, concerns as well. Yeah.
No, I always had Crystal Palace for the win. I always had. I don't rate Fulham.
Yeah.
When they came into the season, they don't want to make the same mistake they did when they were in the Premier League.
Yeah, when they signed so many players. Yeah.
So this time, I think they went too extreme in not signing enough.
Yeah.
And it's going to come back to bite them. But I don't see Fulham surviving. Same as
West Brom. I'm with West Brom as well.
I don't see them surviving. And
Speaking of West Brom, they had a game against Brighton couple of days ago, drew 1-1. They fought, man. Second half, I saw a different West Brom side that I've never seen before. And maybe because they also realized that this Brighton game is crunch time. Yeah. So you see them also in the bottom 3.
I think Brighton will go down. Not Brighton.
No. West Brom, yes.
Yeah, they fought, sure, but these are the games you should be winning.
Yeah.
Your Brightons, the West Ham.
But we could say the same for Brighton too. Those are the games that they should.
But I think Brighton will be safe because my other team to go down is Sheffield. They're looking very poor.
Sheffield United. Moving into that, they faced Liverpool this past weekend and they lost, unfortunately. How did you see that game? A must-win for Liverpool, by the way. I think Liverpool knew that they needed to, because everything surrounding Liverpool has been so negative. Van Dijk is the chat, and we've somehow forgotten that Liverpool have players. They have players.
100%.
And one thing I noticed, Joseph Gomez stepped up in that game.
He has to.
That's what I was thinking, because he When you look at that back four, he was the weakest link. This past weekend, he was the
100%,
strongest link. Yeah.
But he has to step up, because if he doesn't step up, I think Pep replaces him next season. And where does he go? Probably Everton. Maybe Ancelotti can get something out of him, but I don't think he'll go to another big team. Simply because I don't think Liverpool will sell him to another big team. He's still got the potential. I think he's got enormous potential.
And Klopp loves him, though. I think Klopp also sees that within him, and he tries to defend him as much as he can. He puts in games where he needs him, takes him out when he doesn't. So he protects him in a little bit of a way. But this weekend, I think he stepped up so much. You mentioned that Sheffield is looking a bit dodgy. What do you think is going on there?
I think they've been figured out.
Really?
I think they've been figured out.
And that the game plan has
you're overlapping centre backs and
because they know they play.
Centre back. It seemed genius last season, but I think they've been figured out.
It was genius last season. Not seemed, it was.
But yeah, I think they've been figured out. And
I mean,
maybe it's the lack of preseason. I mean, it's still a bit too early. We did speak about that. We wait for 10 games before we assess.
But they're not looking good, though. It's one thing to lose a game, it's one thing to draw a game, but it's one thing when you're playing a game and you don't look good.
They scored that penalty, and 2 minutes later, Liverpool went on him. On them. I didn't expect them to get into that game, to be honest. I said, look, Liverpool's going to come back and they're going to run over these guys, because they don't look good, man.
Yeah.
Your Chris Bashams, they were looking nice last season. They were looking solid.
They're looking questionable this season.
Very, very championship now. They're looking very, very championship. Maybe Ryan Brewster can get some goals.
I mean, he is the record signing, as far as I know, as well, from Liverpool, actually.
Liverpool, yes.
So the minute they get him into play a little bit more, I think he'll get into that routine.
100%, because you McGoldrick. McGoldrick is a hard worker, and I think Ryan Brewster is also a hard worker.
McGoldrick is always on the bench, though, now.
He's been... McGoldrick starts every single game.
Yeah.
Every single game, along with the tall... I forget his name. But they start. They start 4-4, that five at the back with 2 strikers. And McGoldrick is the runner who tries to supply. But I think Brewster can do that, because I think technically he's better, and I think he's quicker.
And pace.
100%. So maybe if they get Brewster in and
Sheffield might do a little better.
They might survive, but I see them going down.
All right. And then now moving into the biggest game of the weekend, maybe only because Everton was at the top of the log, still is. We're now looking at the Southampton versus Everton game. VAR.
Scandalous.
Woo!
Scandalous.
What more can we say about it?
That was scandalous. It wasn't reckless. It was a mistake. Obviously, the way he stepped on him could have injured him, but he didn't mean it. He was, you could even see the way he was running.
Yeah.
I mean, that was scandalous.
Do you think there was a sense of biasness because of the Richarlison one the week before? So that played a role.
The Pickford thing.
Yeah.
The whole Pickford thing. That's what Ancelotti said. He said, no, maybe the refs had the whole Pickford thing in their mind when they sent him off, but that was scandalous. I don't understand, how do you send him off? Not even a yellow, a straight red. Did he even go to the screen?
No. And that's another problem that everybody seems to be having, because that's also another controversy with regards to the Man U and Chelsea game. Another one that we're going to be getting into. But looking at now Everton, how did they play? As much as they did lose, they game plan on the day, I didn't see it. Maybe because also Harmas was injured midweek, and maybe they took that chance by playing him as well. I didn't see the Everton that I've been seeing in previous weeks, and maybe it's that whole, maybe they're getting a little bit, getting a bit tired now as well. Yeah.
Getting tired, you're playing the same 11 week in, week out. They're too dependent on James. I don't think they have another creative player in there. To replace him. It's like your Ozil and Arsenal. They don't have anything for Ozil when he's not there, which it's going to be the whole season. But I think that it's a complacency thing. Ancelotti will get rid of that. He's a class coach. He'll get rid of the complacency. And I think the red card played a major part.
It did. It really, really did. And that's unfortunate.
They don't look at it.
Compact,
from the beginning. They don't look at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's football though, man.
Unfortunately. But Everton is still top of the log right now. And, the next round of fixtures is going to come up. And maybe they have a better opponent, and I guess we'll just have to talk about it that time again. Now moving into the Wolves and Newcastle game, a 1-1 draw. All the goals came in 80 plus minutes. And I thought it was a game that's going to end in a 0-0 draw. When Raul Jimenez scored in the 86th minute, I was like, Wolves have done it again. And then a late comer in Jacob Murphy was like, listen, I've seen Rui
We're gonna draw this
Patricio.
game. We are going to draw this game.
Yes, I've seen his weakness and I'm going to exploit it. And he did. So that was a 1-1 draw. And especially because Newcastle have so many injuries. They have so many injuries. That was the first attacking Newcastle team I've seen in a very long time.
But Newcastle made some good signings over the summer. Ryan Fraser.
The Ryan Fraser,
is Wilson
Callum.
out. Wilson is still playing, right? He's not injured.
Callum
That
Wilson
guy's
is
so
still
injury
there.
prone. You never know when he's playing.
Yeah.
But your Callum Wilson's, and I think Newcastle will do well. They'll be safe.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll break into the top 10, but they'll do well. Wolves are struggling.
I thought I was the only one that felt this. I thought maybe it's fatigue. I thought maybe it's the back-to-back seasons where they were playing, Europa as well.
Could be.
Preseason not there. And listen, and some of the people they let go, Diego Jota, Matt Doherty. That's still a problem for me. I don't think I'll ever get over it.
They signed Semedo. But
Nelson
Semedo is from Barca. He's not bad. I think he's better than Matt Doherty.
I think they could have kept Doherty still and let him go after one season with Semedo.
But if I want to go to Tottenham, you can't stop me. At the end of the day, you're Wolves. This is Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, and Mourinho's calling.
It's Mourinho. I gotta go. I gotta go, coach. I love you, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
But they're struggling, man. They're struggling. And it could be the lack of preseason. It could be the fatigue from the past 2 seasons where they've played so many games.
Yeah. Could be anything at this
I don't know what
stage.
they're going to do because they've got a very small squad.
Yeah, and that is very worrisome.
And they're still in Europe, aren't they? This season. No, they didn't make Europe.
No, they didn't make it because Arsenal took the final one by winning FA Cup. So,
yes. So I think that'll play to their advantage.
Yeah.
If they were in Europe, the injuries were going to kill them. So they'll play one week a game until Carabao Cups and the FA Cups, but their squad is way too small to be competing in Europe and Carabao and FA Cup.
Everything else that comes with playing in the Premier League.
I don't think they'll be as good as last season in terms of fighting for top 6 or top 7.
Oh yeah, top 8 at the stage.
Maybe top 10.
But, they should be content with what they get because based on everything, they need to be looking at themselves and go, we didn't do this season, we didn't do that. Let's just stick within the parameters of what we can do.
And at the end of the day, they are Wolves. They are Wolves. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers. They should be happy with top 10.
Yeah. All right. You mentioned Arsenal when you were talking about how the FA Cup. So now Arsenal played Leicester City this past weekend. And I think this was a surprise for a lot of people because you know how Arsenal fans have now said, we're winning the league.
Oh, our season FC.
How did you see that game?
What did I say? I said Arsenal win, hey?
Yeah.
I thought Arsenal were going to take it because
Leicester was struggling though.
They've been looking promising.
Leicester were also struggling.
They parked the bus. And they were hoping to hit Arsenal on the break.
They had to. They didn't have Jamie Vardy at the time. He was coming back from injury. This was also Madison's first official start. So they were easing them in. They were like, you know what? Let us see what we can take from the game. I think Brendan Rodgers went in there with like, if I get a point, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Park the bus, see what we can get at the end of the game. And
then he had Jamie Vardy, who loves the Gunners. Jamie Vardy has scored
12 in 10?
12 in 10 games against the Gunners.
He's got the Didier Drogba one. 100%. But Arsenal, man, such butlers. I can't believe them. I had so much Arsenal
had hope,
and Arsenal, and they do the same every season. It's the hope that kills
but looking at just the game, it's not like they're the worst or whatever, but it's a problem when Aubameyang is not scoring. He hasn't scored in about 5 games or so.
Since he signed the contract.
Since
he signed the team.
Are you trying to say something? Is that where the hint is right now?
He signed the team and he's relaxing now. He's relaxing. He doesn't need to. He's the highest paid in Arsenal.
I mean, and also, he's the captain. He's 31. He's never played Champions League for Arsenal. So it's one of those things. You just keep racking them up.
You don't need to do much, man. Just the top 10. Arsenal will be okay.
I do not like this mentality you have.
Banter aside. Strikers go through these things.
Yeah.
Strikers go through their droughts. Aubameyang will come up again. It's just that.
But up until then, I was about to say, up until then, who scores the goals for Arsenal?
Yeah, Lacazette, Nketiah.
And Nketiah is always on the bench too now. I don't have a genuine problem with the fact that even against Man City he was on the bench. Even this past weekend, he was on the bench.
I don't know. Arteta must think he knows what's going on.
Yeah. Protecting him, making him see the game from outside, so when he comes in...
Yeah, he's still learning. They'd say, no, he's still learning, he's still young. But also, where's Martinelli? Is he still injured?
I don't know where Martinelli is. That is actually one thing that we should go back and do our research on, come back next week and discuss, because Martinelli was so influential for Arsenal last season, and maybe it was the Kante slip that gave him the rise to fame. We don't know what it was.
Huge potential. He's quick, he works hard, he's a finisher. But also, my one thing with Arsenal is that there is nobody to create.
Yeah.
There is nobody to create. There's Thomas Partey. He's more of a defensive box-to-box type thing. He doesn't have the creativity of Ozil. Then you've got Ceballos, who also doesn't have the creativity. He's nice with the punches, the around the corner passes. He's nice with that. He's like Thomas Cleverley. He's like a nicer Thomas Cleverley.
So do you think Arsenal need to be going into the market in January?
They do. They need a creative player in that midfield.
Okay.
They need somebody whose job it is to create. Since they don't want to play Ozil, because of whatever reason, I put it down to the fact that the Chinese market and all that stuff. I think it's more political than anything else.
Yeah.
But they need a creative player. You can't play like Wolves or Sheffield when you're Arsenal.
Where the goal's going to come from? Who's going to create that?
Now you're snatching goals from luck, or you're snatching goals over the top, or some teams are just going to play a deep line, and then you're not going to be able to break them down because you don't have anybody to play that incisive pass or that creativity. I think they need some major creativity in that team. Yeah.
Okay. And then now looking at the last game that played within this week of fixtures, that is the Burnley and Tottenham game. Harry Kane and Son, they are singing a song. Like they are together.
Yeah.
They're here. It's crazy what that combination has done. The only pairing that has more goals than them is Lampard and Didier Drogba. That is very scary.
That's scary.
One thing I've always said about Harry Kane that he needed to add was the assist. And all of Son's goals.
He's just assisting.
Assisting. How far do you think Tottenham can get this season?
What did I say? I said top 6. When I look at it
when
now,
you look at it, yeah.
I'll stick to top 6.
Still.
For now, I'll stick to top 6. Ask me after 10 games. But yeah, I think top 6. I think that the quality of the rest will shine through. Mourinho, I think Mourinho's lost it, man. I think Mourinho's lost it. But they're looking very nice currently.
That's the thing, though. As much as we want to say Mourinho has lost it, he's gone to a team that doesn't have many expectations. So whatever he wins there, wherever he gets them, obviously because they've been making top 4, he needs to still stay within that standard. But I think at this point in time, Mourinho's goal has to be a cup.
A trophy, yeah.
It has to
be
a trophy.
They need a trophy, and I think they'll challenge your FA Cup and your Carabao.
In the Carabao.
But
the one cup he doesn't like.
Yeah, anything for Tottenham, really. Anything for Tottenham.
It's good enough.
He'll take it because they haven't won anything in a very long time. They just need a trophy, and sometimes you just need that trophy and it kickstarts you. It kickstarts that winning mentality, kickstarts that belief, like, guys, we can actually go and do this. Let's actually, next season, let's focus, let's do this.
Yeah.
But not the league, not the league. At best, top 4 and 4th.
Okay. And, Drew, we always get to this part of the show where we talk about the next coming fixtures. So I'm just going to go through...
We haven't even spoken about United, did we?
I was going to say that. I was going to say we'll talk about the next coming fixtures, but I wanted to bring it up in such a way that the next game for Man U is Arsenal. And that's another big game for them. Looking at how they played against Chelsea, looking at Chelsea and Man U, it was one of the most boring games I think I've watched in a very long time, apart from the Champions League final with Tottenham and Liverpool. I think that one's still number 1.
No, that one, I think that one is number 1 and it's going to stay like that for a very long time.
Yeah.
But this game, starting with my team, United, that Mata and Dan James and Fred and McTominay, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Hard Work FC, Passion Merchants. Those guys are all poor. Dan James is poor. He's a championship player at best. He's poor. Mata, you could play Mata.
I think Mata was a good... I thought he was fine in the starting 11.
But how do you bench Van der Beek and then you play Dan James? Why are you playing Dan James? He's done nothing. Like, he's done nothing. All he does is run. And maybe it's because he wants to cover up for the left back. That's because Shaw is poor as well.
Yeah. But we can't play football like that. You need to play football to win. And I felt that both managers were both being cautious because Defensively, they've not been good, both of them. So they first went for that first, and they're good with the point.
Defense.
But I was also I was heavily disappointed as a Chelsea fan. I was heavily disappointed in the firepower that we have attacking-wise, and we didn't use it to our best ability. You know what I mean? But then I was also thinking, we have 7 games in 21 days. A point against Man United on the run we're about to have is not the worst thing for Chelsea at this point in time.
But isn't United your most difficult game?
Which is exactly why a point against them, considering how it was last season, cannot be something that we should take for granted. So I'm going to look at it that way for now, up until the end of the season. Then I'm going to go, that should have been 3 points. You know what I mean?
Depending on where you end up.
Exactly.
But I think Lampard he's still got the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing in his head that he's beaten him.
3 times.
And he's like, no, let me just solidify, see what we can get
from this game.
See what we can get maybe at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they should have got the penalty. Should have been a penalty. They should have.
Oh yeah, Maguire and his wraparound.
Wrestling, Maguire, out.
Maguire is just as bad as VAR these days, to be honest.
He's terrible. He belongs at Leicester or something. He needs to go back. They need to give us our refund. We'll take 40%. He needs to go back. My goodness. But the midfield.
Yeah. You have a problem.
I have a problem with the midfield. Scott McTominay offers nothing. Fred and McTominay are the same player. You can't play both of them.
So if you were to pick now, going into obviously now the new games that are coming up, this new match day live, you guys are playing Arsenal. If you had to make a midfield pairing there, who would you go with?
I would go...
Also looking at Arsenal, what they're offering too, and the kind of game you want to play.
Arsenal will probably play 5 at the back. Or a back 3 turning into
2 or 5
on the defense. But I'd go Pog and Fred and Van de Beek and Fernandes.
Okay.
In a diamond. In a diamond.
So you would start him, Van de Beek?
Definitely. He needs to start. He's class, man. He's class.
I mean, we as fans have always been the perpetrators to the conversation of why sign him for 45 minutes to keep him on the bench. Yeah. But it's also those things where he just came from a new team, a new league. Maybe watching for 5 games is not a bad thing if he's going to have a fantastic 25 games afterwards.
Do you really see him playing? I mean, he couldn't even play against PSG.
Yeah,
that's Champions
League. A problem.
You could say, okay, let me rest. He's talking about we can't overplay our players, but he's playing McTominay
all the time.
When is he going to rest? Is he going to rest him in January? When is Van de Beek going to play? The match fitness, obviously. He just played 2 games for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Full 90 minutes.
Full 90, yeah.
Surely
he's fine.
Surely start him. I hope he starts against Arsenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Solskjaer...
He should improve. All right.
No, he's in trouble.
Now, looking at the upcoming fixtures for this coming weekend, we're going to go through them as usual. I'm going to say the names and you just say which one is going to win. So we have some Friday night football with Wolves and Crystal Palace. Which one?
Draw.
Oh, bold. And then we have Sheffield and Man City.
City.
Burnley and Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Liverpool and West Ham. It's going to be an intriguing game.
Interesting, but Liverpool.
Fair. Alisson is back now. That's another talking point for Liverpool. Aston Villa versus Southampton.
Ooh.
Tough one.
Tasty. Villa.
Okay. Newcastle versus Everton.
Everton.
Man United versus Arsenal.
Draw.
You never give your team you never give them a sniff.
I know my team. Solskjaer's job is safe. He's fine. He's going to play rubbish.
Yeah.
Until the media starts saying his next game is going to get sacked. He's going to go on a little mini run and his job is going to be safe again. But I know my team. I know my team.
Man United, Arsenal. Consider that Arsenal are also coming from technically back-to-back defeats.
Back-to-back defeats. They're going to go low line, 5 at the back, try keep it tight. We won't be able to break them down because we're going to be playing with Scott McTominay and Fred.
This is very personal. This is so personal. All right, so Man U Arsenal is a draw. And then Tottenham and Brighton?
Tottenham.
And then for your Monday night football, we're going to have Fulham and West Brom. 2 teams that they both need a win. Yeah. They both need a win.
I'd go West Brom.
Okay.
I don't see Fulham. I think Fulham would lose record losses. Maybe 37 losses in 1 week.
I don't think that's ever happened, but okay. And then we also have Leeds United and your Leicester City. That's a good game. Oh, juicy.
Juicy game. Oh, difficult. Leicester.
So we're talking about Leeds and Leicester. You just said that Leeds are definitely going to take it because they're home.
Yeah. Even though there's no fans, but I think the fact that you're in your own stadium.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like,
You're right.
I expected, but it's one of those where they could be timid, just like Man United and Chelsea, and try to suss
But
each other
also
out.
Jamie Vardy.
He's back now.
And Bielsa likes to play this high line, intense attacking football. It could go either way. I'm taking a wild guess here. They're all wild guesses, but this is the wildest one. I'll say Leeds.
All right. Thank you so much, Drew. And that is how we wrap up the touchline for this week. I hope your teams do well, man. My team is struggling a little bit. Drew has some issues with his own team, but that's what the touchline is here for us to come here and bring our grievances and our excitement. Until we meet each other next week, I am Oarab Lady Poko for the touchline. Until next time, we're out.